Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Matthew, and this is Just Another Hockey Show.
All right, well, we're back, and let's start off with talking about the 3 preseason games the Jets played this week. Let's start off with Monday night, Jets, Minnesota. Matt, you were there.
Yeah, it started off pretty good as Matthew Perreault started with the first goal for the Jets, and then Minnesota tied it 1-1, and then Minnesota scored again, and then what happened next?
Okay, well, so the game is 2-1 Minnesota, and I believe the Jets are on the power play once again. In total, there were 17 minor penalties called in this game, so there were a lot of power play time.
That's crazy.
So the Jets were setting up the power play, and Buff got the puck, and he slid it over to Patrick Laine, and, well, you know what Patrick Laine does. Take a look at this.
For Lowry, for Dustin Bufflin, for Laine scores!
Okay, so then that tied the game at 2. No more scoring. Overtime didn't settle anything.
Nope.
So we go to the shootout. And for the Jets, the regular shooters, they had...
Shifley, Wheeler, and Laine.
Okay, so Minnesota did score against Hellebuck. So it was up to Patrick Laine to shoot as the third shooter to see if he could tie up the game and we could continue. And...
well, it didn't go his way as he just missed the shot.
Okay, so first preseason game of the year, the Jets were stacked. The lineup card showed mostly veterans for Winnipeg, mostly AHL players for Minnesota, but the Jets come away with a 3-2 shootout loss. All right, next Jets game, Wednesday night, Oilers and Jets.
Well, it started off with another early goal, this time by Nikolai Ehlers, and then it kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, you know, we did get a chance to see Steve Mason, first time as a Winnipeg Jet, and Kulikov was on the ice as well. But other than that early goal by Ehlers...
not much. Ended up being 4-1 for the AHL Oilers against the NHL Jets.
Oh, well. Okay, next night, we're down in Minnesota. And this time, the baby Jets go down to Minnesota to play the real Minnesota Wild. How did that one go?
Well, it didn't go as planned as Minnesota won 1-0 with just one goal.
But I did hear that Hellebuck played really well.
Yeah.
So that's 2 games this week where he played really well. And, of course, Trouba, he already looks like he's ready for the season. And, you know what, it gave the Jets an opportunity to see some of their young guys, see who maybe is going to make that 3rd and 4th line.
Like Roslovic.
Yeah, like Roslovic, like Connor, and even I think they had another chance to see Tucker Poolman last night. And in the 2 games he's played this week, they really like him.
Okay, so now the Jets only have 4 preseason games left, and their next game is on Saturday against the Edmonton Oilers. Either Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid will be playing in that game.
And this will give the Jets another chance to take a look at their young players and make some decisions about the 3rd and 4th line. And then on Sunday, the Jets are going to get a day off, well needed after the first grueling week of training camp. And that day, the coaches will get together and they will decide on the first cuts. So we're going to be losing some players on Sunday, and they'll be going down to the Manitoba Moose, who start their training camp on Monday.
And then only 3 preseason games next week, and then the season starts.
Yeah, October 4th, which is a Wednesday here in Winnipeg. The Jets are going to take on Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs in game number 1, which will hopefully be the start of a great season and hopefully the playoffs.
Yep.
Okay, so we want to introduce something new to our show, so check this out.
Introducing the card machine. I'm going to put 2 quarters into the Jet slot. I'm going to push it, and looks like we got a Mark Shifley Shining Star. This card's from the 16-17 Upper Deck Series 1.
All right, well, I guess that's it for this week's show.
Yeah.
It was an interesting week. The Jets didn't do a lot, but I think the emphasis on preseason is not about winning, because you don't win the Stanley Cup in the preseason. The emphasis is on player development and getting ready for the regular season. So, I guess that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and
And don't forget to leave comments.
if you can.
If you can.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.